Hey there, it's Mark from Sourcing Academy, and in this video I want to share with you the 5 things that I love about the rent-to-rent strategy. So number 1 is all about the startup capital. So quite often one of the biggest restrictions in terms of people not getting started with property investment is the fact that they do not have large deposits, they don't have cash reserves to pay huge stamp duty costs, they don't have legal bill cover, all that sort of associated cost with the traditional property investment methods. Well, the beauty of the rent-to-rent strategy, of course, is that we're taking over the property from a property owner and we're effectively running it better than they were running it in the first place. So what that means is that in terms of the startup capital that you require is very limited to just how much you need to spend to get started. Now, of course, there's a varying level of refurbishment depending on how much work you want to take on, depending on what the numbers in the deal allow you to do. But the fact is you have the choices. You do not have to pay a 10%, 20%, 30% deposit. You do not have to pay stamp duty, land tax. You do not have to pay legal bills. So all that capital that you do have as a reserve is going to be able to be invested straight into that property deal in order to get that cash flow generating as quickly as possible. Now at number 2, what we have is the ability to build a cash flowing portfolio more quickly than you might have been limited to with the traditional buying route. Now what that means, because rent to rent is about taking over other people's properties on a managing agent basis, it allows us to take on multiple properties in quick succession in order to get to our cash flow goal. Now of course, depending on what level you are with your experience, you are either going to take one on, experience what it is to run a property on a rent-to-rent basis, and then look to expand your portfolio. Or of course, if you've got experience of rental, if you've got the experience of having already maybe got a traditional property investment, but you're looking to scale that portfolio more quickly, then you might be able to take multiple properties on at the same time. The beauty and the general overarching feel for the strategy is the flexibility that it allows you to do what you feel comfortable with in order to achieve the numbers that you want to achieve in the time frame that you want to achieve them in. But the beauty is you can have multiple properties relatively quickly to generate that cash flow that you're looking to achieve, and of course that is a huge benefit of the rent-to-rent strategy. Now we just touched on it a little bit. Number 3 is about the fact you do not need masses of property experience to get started with the strategy. If you have got limited to no property management experience from an agency point of view, then obviously you're likely to only take that first deal on, experience exactly how it runs, and then start to scale from there. If you've got a little bit more experience in terms of being a tenant, managing tenancies, already having an existing buy-to-let property maybe, then you might be more prepared to scale your property business much more quickly. Again, the fact is that it doesn't matter whether you've got no experience or whether you've got a little bit experience or you've got extensive experience. The fact is that you are in control of how you grow your rent-to-rent business. So the beauty of not needing that much experience, that you can just get started with getting a feel for how to manage tenants, how to manage the process, how to deal with licensing if that's the model you choose. The beauty is that is totally up to you. You are in control. So number 4 is probably one of my favorites in terms of the rent-to-rent strategy, and it's the fact that we are here to help landlords with their property problems. Now what I mean by that is that generally with the rent-to-rent strategy, we're looking for motivated landlords who are experiencing some form of headache, hassle, stress with their current rental properties, and we're going to take that stress away. We're going to give them a fixed amount of income per month, a guaranteed rent payment per month, which takes away all the thought processes from them about their property. And then we're going to take on all of the workload, we're going to uplift the rent, and we're going to keep the difference as our fee. So the fact that we are helping that property owner get rid of the stress, the headache, the hassle is a huge positive in terms of why we get into property investment, certainly the rent-to-rent strategy. But also, it's a win-win for us as well, because ultimately we're going to benefit from the uplift in the rental income. We're going to be more motivated to make sure that that property is run properly, efficiently, in order for us to benefit from the main cash flow that it's going to generate. So we are effectively always looking for that win-win when it comes to the rent-to-rent strategy. So it's a huge favorite of mine. I love helping people, I love helping landlords, and then the beauty of it is that you get a very healthy cash flow from it as well. And then in at number 5 is the flexibility of the rent-to-rent strategy in terms of the models that you can use in order to benefit from rent-to-rent. Now, what I mean by the models, quite often you may have heard of rent-to-rent as a multi-let, an HMO strategy, where you simply take a property and convert it into room letting, and of course you get the profit from that. But actually, the beauty of the rent-to-rent model is that there are 3 models that we choose to teach at Goliath, which are the single let to multi-let, and the existing multi-let model. Now, what these 3 models allow you to do is, depending on your risk tolerance, in terms of your experience, in terms of your desire to get to a certain cash flow quickly, in terms of what your business goals might be, you have got the choice, again based on what you want to achieve, to choose the model that is right for you. And that is the exciting part, and I've already mentioned it in the video, the fact that the strategy is flexible. It's there to give you what you want to achieve, whilst helping landlords get rid of the headaches that they are already experiencing with the properties. So hopefully you've enjoyed those. It's 5 of my favorite things about the rent-to-rent strategy, and thanks very much. As always, happy sourcing, and we'll see you very soon.